Any friends? So I've written and rewritten the script a few times to try to figure out the best way to approach this. And even now, I have no idea how this is going to go, but it's something I want to talk about. Disney has been in the news a lot lately, from the DeSantis Vendetta fiasco to losing 4 million subscribers on Disney Plus and the absolutely abysmal Peter Pan live action remake. And of course, people calling Disney out for apparently being too woke. Look, I grew up with Disney, and while I can recognize them as an evil corporate overlord, I'll also always hold a special place in my heart for them. So today I want to talk about the Disney live action remakes, some issues I have with them, and why I do have hope for the future of Disney. Before we get into all of that though, as always, if you want to stay up to date on the latest news and reviews in gaming and entertainment, please consider liking and subscribing. You guys are what keep me doing this, so thank you. Now, let's talk Disney. Starting off with the live actions as a whole, I don't think all of them are terrible. I really enjoyed the Beauty and the Beast live action. I thought it had amazing visuals, for the most part. I still wish the Beast had been less CGI than he was, but I can still appreciate a lot of the changes they did to the story. I thought it was an interesting take on my favorite Disney story, but really I also wish they'd gone even further from the source material and really tried something new. If you're going to give me a live action remake, take risks and make changes. Don't give me a shot for shot of what I already know with only a few changes thrown in, which is the first problem of a lot of these remakes. I don't want to watch the same movie I saw animated just in live action, which even live action you kind of got to put in quotes because of all the CGI. I just don't. I want to experience something new. There was a book I read from Disney called The Beast Within, part of their villain series. In it, the Beast is an awful human before he is turned into a monster and actually best friends with Gaston. The castle is not enchanted and wonderful, it's terrifying to him, as he cannot see or hear his staff and everything appears to be watching him, and it creates a really dark atmosphere. It was definitely Beauty and the Beast, but a really different take while keeping the same idea in place. I loved it and would much prefer Disney to do something out there like that, rather than what they are doing now, which, judging by audience reactions lately, aren't exactly going well anymore. The last several have been major disappointments, with Pinocchio being all but forgotten and Peter Pan absolutely hated. That takes me to the second point of these remakes, Disney's wokeness. I, for one, hate the term woke, but it's a part of our culture now, so I will use it for the sake of this. I do strongly believe that representation and inclusivity matters, and I'm not even going to pretend that I have any answers for the many problems of today, but what Disney is doing, I don't believe is the answer. From the scene in Endgame where all the female superheroes show up for the "wow, look how cool and powerful all the ladies are" moment, to making Wendy Darling a sword fighter, and just as shoehorning in bland messages for the sake of inclusivity.
You have the boy's magic.
No, this magic belongs to no boy.
I'd argue that's doing more to hurt the cause than help it, because everyone sees it for what it is, pandering. It is not genuine, it's not heartfelt, it is not done naturally, it's just sort of forced out there and expected to be cheered on, and it's not. Disney is trying too hard to appease everyone, and it's just coming off as inauthentic. While there has been very slight progress of showing more LGBT content, it's still too far and in between and something that they're still having difficulty with, while also somehow coming into the crosshairs of Florida's governor for being too pro-LGBT. Along with the talk of character races being forced, which honestly doesn't bother me nearly as much as Ariel's lack of red hair. Seriously, I saw a TikTok discussing the recent trend of replacing redheaded characters with African American ones, such as Wally West from The Flash, Starfire from Titans, Mary Jane Watson from the MCU, and now Ariel. There are more, but it's an odd trend, no? I want this world to be accepted. I want it to be inclusive regardless of gender, race, or orientation. I want it to be just as representative of all those things as well. But I don't want them forced into existing mediums. I want them to be their own thing and find their own ground and come about organically. Because in those moments, I believe we will see true change and true beautiful storytelling. I look at stories like Encanto, which has a strong female lead, and I love it for so many reasons. And the first is apparently it's very true to the culture, which matters in representation. The second is that we have a strong female lead who is not powerful or perfect. She's not Mulan from the live action remake, where she is practically perfect and just hides her perfection, only to somehow end up becoming even more perfect by the end of it. She struggles, she fails, she picks herself up, she continues on.
I'm not fine. I'm not fine.
Being strong, being representative, doesn't mean that you have to be perfect and saint-like. You're allowed to be human and make mistakes, because it is more often than how you react and learn from mistakes that is arguably far more interesting than you not making any mistakes at all. I think of the scene in Moana where the grandmother spirit is talking to our heroine after Maui has left her and she is forced to face the radiant spirit alone. She has not forced Moana to go forward. She does not say that she has to do this or else to find the courage and that she'll be okay. No, she tells her that it is okay, that if she wants, she can go back home and she'll be just as supportive of that decision as she would if Moana went forward. That perhaps it was too much to put on one person's shoulders. But Moana, in her darkest moment, does in fact decide to go on. She makes that decision and it is a powerful moment. I feel like so many of these moments are taken from us now because instead, when Disney thinks of representation, they think to make the characters as perfect as possible, flawless, be this shining example for us. And that's not how real life works. That's not how anything really works. And it's just boring. The third and final one is smaller in comparison, but still something that must be said. The animals do not look right in live action. It is one thing for the Jungle Book, where even in the cartoon form they are mostly depicted as how they were. But I mean, compare Flounder and Sebastian from the animated to their live action counterparts. That is nightmare fuel. The same can be said for Lion King. The beautiful thing about animation, it allows these animals to be very expressive and, dare I say it, animated. Simba crying for his dad in the animated version.
Dad? Dad, come on. You gotta get up.
It's fucking heartbreaking. Whereas Simba crying for his dad in the live action, looks about expressionless as his dead dad right there. That being said, I'm not worried about Disney's future right now because I have lived through the Disney Dark Ages before. After the Disney Renaissance, they started coming out with direct-to-DVD sequels left and right, turning them out to make profit with little effort. And that is sort of what's happening now as well. We're getting the big-budget version of those DVD sequels coming out at us as fast and hard as Disney can. I mean, Moana came out 7 years ago, and now we're getting a live-action version of it? Who is asking for that? No one. But it is coming, and I have a strong feeling it will not be as cherished as the animated one was. Disney is going to keep doing this for a while because despite the backlash and reviews, they're making money, and that is all they care about right now. People state they are suffering because they are too woke, but in reality, Disney is still making bank. Is every decision great on their part? Absolutely not. I still think Disney Plus as a whole was a weird idea after they bought Hulu, but that doesn't matter. You know why I still have hope for Disney? The fact that we are still getting good movies in between all this remake trash. Zootopia, Inside Out, Moana, Luca, Encanto, Coco. We are still seeing that Disney can do wonderful things and create original ideas. But we have to suffer through the live-action garbage to get there. That's all I've got for now, Flanny friends. I love Disney, I really do, and I do hope to see them truly hit another golden age again soon. Because I am tired of the onslaught of the mediocre. What are your guys' thoughts on Disney live action? Are there any films that you think would actually make for good live action ones? My personal choices would be either Atlantis or maybe Treasure Planet. But that's all I've got for now. There's a lot going on at Disney, and I might cover more of it depending on the reaction to this video. But until then, guys, bye!